His boss handed him cash to deposit at the bank, trusting him with a simple task. As he stepped out, he passed a liquor store. His palm grew clammy. His pulse quickened. Just one drink, he thought, just enough to steady my nerves. I read a story once that made me pause and think deeply. It was about how addiction, whether gambling, substances, or even toxic habit, can quietly take hold of our lives. It doesn't ask for permission. It sneaks in, offering quick escapes, temporary thrills, and the illusion of control. But in reality, it controls you. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Stories That Inspire, a place where inspiration and hope come alive through powerful stories. I am Remilekun Idowu, and today's story is about a man who lost everything, not just money, but his dignity, relationships, and almost himself. Yet, even in the darkest pit, there is always a way out. The question is, will he take it? Let's move to my story corner to find out what happened to him. But first, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to encourage this storytelling journey. Let's dive in. In a struggling town where every sunrise brought another battle for survival, Robert grew up watching his mother work herself to exhaustion. His father had long abandoned them, leaving her with the heavy burden of raising 3 children alone. She was a school teacher by day and a home tutor by night, yet her earnings were barely enough to put food on the table. Robert, the middle child, was intelligent and gifted. He had a knack for computers, and anything tech related came naturally to him. But life had been cruel, and hardship had shaped him in ways he never expected. He was relentless, searching for an escape from the relentless grind of poverty. And he found one: addiction. At first, it started small. A friend introduced him to online gaming, telling him it was a fun way to unwind. It was harmless at first, just a few hours here and there. But soon, he was hooked. Late nights turned into sleepless marathons. His heart pounded with every level clear, every virtual victory. Then came social media. Endless scrolling numbed his mind, making him forget how empty he felt inside. Then came alcohol, a drink here and there just to take the edge off. The burn in his throat was a welcome distraction from the burn of failure. One drink turned into many, then into a secret stash under his bed. He told himself he was in control, but control had slipped through his fingers like sand in a storm. But addiction doesn't begin with destruction. It begins with a little lie, the lie that you can stop anytime you want. After months of odd jobs and failed attempts to get his life together, Robert finally secured a new job. It wasn't glamorous, but it was something, a fresh start. On his first day, he swore to himself that he would make it work, that he wouldn't screw this up. But addiction is a shadow that lingers, waiting for a moment of weakness. His boss handed him cash to deposit at the bank, trusting him with a simple task. As he stepped out, he passed a liquor store. His palm grew clammy. His pulse quickened. Just one drink, he thought. Just enough to steady my nerves. One drink turned into three. The warmth spread through him, drowning his worries. Hours passed in a blur, and by the time he realized what he had done, the money was gone. His chest tightened in panic. His mind raced for a way out. He had nothing valuable on him except his phone. Desperation swallowed him whole as he handed it to a stranger in exchange for cash, hoping to recover what was lost. By the time he stumbled back to work, his boss was waiting, arm crossed, her expression stone cold. "Where is the deposit?" she demanded. I was robbed, he lied, his voice barely above a whisper. She saw through him instantly. "Your salary will cover every cent," she snapped. "One more mistake and you are gone." Shame wrapped around his throat like a noose. He had failed again. That night, he returned to a dark, silent house. His mother sat hunched over a kitchen table, staring at an empty plate. "There is no food," she said quietly. "I couldn't afford it today." Her words cut through him like a knife. His addiction had drained him, but worse, it had drained the only person who had even truly loved him. Desperation had driven Robert to do things he had never thought he would. One evening, when his mother's purse was left unattended, he took money from it. It was just a small amount, enough for a drink, he told himself. But the guilt crushed him when his younger sister cried, asking why their mother couldn't buy our school supplies that week. Another time, he stole his brother's laptop and sold it for a fraction of its worth. His brother had saved for months to buy it, using it for school and freelance work. When confronted, Robert swore he had no idea where it had gone. But the lie sat heavy on his chest, knowing he had stolen more than just a laptop. He had stolen trust. Each betrayal pushed his family further away, yet he kept cashing the false comfort of his addiction, convincing himself he had no other choice. Robert's life spiraled deeper. Every attempt to break free ended in failure. Then came the moment that nearly cost him everything. One night, drowning in self-hatred, he drank more than ever before, glass after glass, trying to quiet the screaming regrets in his mind. His body grew numb, his vision blurred, his chest tightened, panic set in. His breathing became ragged. He had gone too far this time. Staggering outside, the cold air hit him like a slap. His leg wobbled. The world tilted. His heart pounded violently, as if it kept him alive. People walked past, barely sparing him a glance. Then, darkness. When he woke up, he was in a dimly lit room, his head troubled. His clothes were damp with sweat. Sitting across from him was an old man, watching him with calm, piercing eyes. "You almost didn't wake up," the man said. Robert tried to sit up, but his body felt like a lead. "Who are you?" he croaked. "A friend," the man replied. and I think you need one right now. The man smiled knowingly. Let me ask you something. Are you tired yet? The question burrowed in his soul. That night changed everything. The old man was a counselor who had helped many, like Robert. He spoke of chains that couldn't be broken by willpower alone, of wounds that needed more than time to heal. Robert didn't argue. You don't just have an addiction, the man said. You have a war inside you and you've been losing. For the first time, he admitted the truth. He needed help. The man offered him guidance, a path forward, but it wouldn't be easy. Recovery never is. And just like that, Robert's journey began. But breaking free wasn't just about avoiding alcohol or deleting gambling apps. It was about rewriting his entire mind. It started small, waking up early, deleted the apps that stole his time. It started small, waking up early, deleted the apps that stole his time. He cut off friends who pulled him back. He forced himself to stay away from old temptation. He spent time in therapy, confronting the demons that led him there in the first place. And most importantly, he started praying. But healing is never a straight path. One night, after months of progress, the cravings hit him hard. The weight of his past crushed him. His hands shook as he stood outside a liquor store, staring at the known sign, feeling it called to him. Just one drink, the thoughts whispered. His feet moved forward. Then his phone buzzed. A message. I know you're struggling tonight, but you are stronger than this. Remember why you started. It was the old man. Robert clenched his jaw, turned on his heel, and walked away. That was the moment he knew. This time, he wouldn't let addiction win, and he refused to quit. At work, his boss noticed the change. He arrived work early, worked hard, and stayed focused. She started trusting him again. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The cravings never fully left, but his will grew stronger. And then something unexpected happened. One day, a high skates project landed on his desk. His boss took a chance on him. He worked tirelessly, pouring himself into the challenge. When the project was completed flawlessly, the client was so impressed, then offered him another job, then another job. The talent he had buried under years of self-destruction was finally rising to the surface. When he received his first real paycheck, he didn't even hesitate. He went straight home, placed the money in his mother's weary hands, and whispered, "Eat well tonight, Nay. We're not struggling anymore." His mother, who once cried, "Why did God give me this kind of child?" now wept for a different reason. Tears of joy. A year later, Robert had saved enough to move his family into a better home. When his mother held the lease agreement in her hands, she fell to her knees, sobbing prayers of gratitude. Her son, the one she thought was lost, had come home. You see, addiction is a thief that takes more than money. It steals time, trust, dignity, and sometimes life itself. But redemption is always possible with discipline, accountability, and faith. Even the deepest wound can heal and the lost souls can find their way home. The first step is admitting there is a problem. The next step is fighting like your life depends on it, because it does. If you or someone you love is battling addiction, know this: you are not alone. Help is out there. Find it and get it. If Robert could break free, so can you. Thank you for listening to this journey of transformation. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me on this journey weekly to discover more inspirational story. If Robert's story inspired you, remember to be kind to yourself and to others every day, because you never know what battles others are fighting. And share this story with someone who you know might need some positive energy this week. See you next week.